Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to Stone Soup. And I can welcome not just all of you here, but also our very special guest, Carol Weston. Everyone can say hi to Carol. I believe she can hear you.
Hi, Carol.
Hi, Carol.
Hi.
So we're looking forward to potentially hearing from her tonight. We'll keep this going as long as we can. I don't have a lot of power on my phone, but we'll keep this going. Carol, can you hear me? Carol, can you hear me?
She got to unmute herself.
I actually did unmute her, so I don't. Oh, I can see what.
She might have to do it.
She looks like she's able. It looks like we're able to hear her. She might not be speaking up. So I'll see what's going on. Carol, speak up a little louder into the phone.
Yes. Okay.
All right, let me see. Oh, I see what's going on. I'm glad. I know what exactly. I know what to do. Hold on 1 minute, Carol. Okay, I think we're good. So, Carol, say hi to everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Carol.
Hi, Carol. Hi.
I miss you
Wow.
forever, like always.
Who's that?
CCR Chagra, I miss
What
you.
is your name?
CCR
Who
Chagra.
are you?
You remember me from the,
Chagra. Ah,
yeah, from the 90s?
yeah. Yeah, marvelous.
I have this amazing picture of you. I called you. I wanted to publish your poetry years ago.
Oh. Oh, boy, thanks.
Well, I am glad everyone is here, and I'm going to get started with Nava. Would you be happy to read first? You were the first person to join, technically.
Who would read first, did you say?
I was asking to see if Nava could read first.
Oh, no.
Okay. All right. But this means that whoever I pick, they're going to have to read now. That's the rules. It's like a Yankee swap or something like that. Anyway.
Oh, no, that's unfair. I'm scared.
It's not going to be you.
Fear is good for you.
Okay.
Yes.
So give me 1 second. I'm just writing everyone's names down.
Thank you.
This is very exciting. And all right. Oh, geez.
If anybody wants a bongo background, I'll.
We actually mute everyone on the calls. So, but unless you, but if you want, if someone requests you, I'll unmute you and you can do it.
Yeah.
We actually had.
I'll be very unprofessional, but I'll pull it off.
But it's actually pretty funny. It's actually really cool because we actually had Ethan Mackler, who was on the call here, and he did a combination of music with Jack Powers.
I heard that was amazing. That was great.
You did hear that. Good.
I loved it. Yeah. I got a couple of Jack on YouTube if you want to try again.
Send me the links and we'll work with that.
Okay, sure.
Let me see if I have everyone here. Okay.
But the mass.
Ethan, are you going to be performing tonight?
Not tonight.
Okay. So the list is shorter than you know, but that means Nava, you're probably going to be 7th in a group of 7.
Okay.
You gotta come sometime. Okay, everyone, we're gonna get started, and I'm going to unmute everybody, and then I'm gonna call the first person up on the open mic. This person is involved with the Brownstone Poets and a number of New York. You were the second one here. Don't shrug like this. Come on, like how can you be so shocked? There's only 7 of us. The laws of average is that only Nava is not going to be picked. So we're going to bring up Patricia Carrigan. Let's unmute you and welcome you to the floor, to the virtual podium.
Okay. Paved paradise. This habitat, once protected by stately oaks and birches, wildflowers, and blueberry bushes was sold to developers. They put up signs, cleared every iota of flora and fauna, called it paradise. Land for condominiums, parking lots, roadways, and shopping centers, for car clutter, loud music, smartphone chatter, and fast food trash, for tiny potted plants and a few sickly sticks called trees. A songbird with a crushed throat lay by a discarded French fry box. I held its body, felt human torpor burn in my palm.
Nice. Oh, I gotta unmute everybody so you can hear the applause. Give me 1 second. And keep it going. Now you're all unmuted.
Yay.
Gotta give everyone their due.
Oh,
All right, getting used to the system again. I just got everything. Ah, here we go. Perfect. Now I'll be able to go between speaker view and the Brady Bunch view. So this works out very well for me. Up next on the open mic, this person I think has been to every single open mic on the virtual level since we started this, and he has not let us down yet. He's let himself down in some ways, but never us. Let's welcome up Mr. Bill Lewis. Oop, now I gotta unmute you. There we go.
yes. Well, first of all, I want to tell you that in these times of crisis, it is important to keep in mind that there are dangers in the world. There are people listening there. You don't know what is going to happen. So it is very important to take care of yourself because you, they're listening. They're watching. Big, 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 brother, big. Oh, oh. I'm sorry I got excited. Remember, knowledge is ignorance. Truth is falsehood. Peace is war. Believe in big. Believe, believe, believe.
Okay, everyone,
Hey,
I think the applause comes in now.
boy,
Oh, my.
where's George Orwell when we really need him?
Oh my word. That was,
Oh, great. That must have felt great.
what's even funnier is that Carol Weston is only connected by a phone. She has no idea what's going on.
That's amazing.
I'll have to show
That
you a
is-
photo. But I'm going to mute
Oh.
everyone again. I'm going to thank Bill for his participation. Oh, dear Lord. Let's bring up next the man who I nicknamed Gentleman so long ago. I'm glad it continues to catch on with him and suit him. Let's welcome up writer, photographer, poet, Mr. Ed Galt.
Thank you. By the way, Bill, I love that backdrop. Okay, this one is called Artist in the Renaissance School. Once there was an artist in the Renaissance School. He painted and sculpted. He wrote poetry and prose. He was a photographer. He spent many hours of the day honing each of these disciplines. He would not sell until a piece was perfect. He never sold any pieces. He went on for years, decades. the honing, the perfecting. By the time he was a very old man, his home had become a gallery of some of the finest work in the country. If only anyone knew of it, but nobody did. Eventually, he died. His children settled his accounts. There were many. They sold the house. They got rid of all the junk. Thank you very much.
Oh,
Oh, I'm unmuted.
You're you're unmuted.
I do have some, I have a couple of points.
We'll get we have you on. We have you in line. We'll get you soon, Carol.
Okay, thanks a lot. I
No
just
worries.
happened to have them.
This isn't as big an event as what happened this past Friday, though I'm glad for everyone who's able to make it here. And I'm glad we're able to get Carol Weston to join us. I'm also glad of all the returning people. Let's welcome and our first timers, at least to this online virtual Voodoo Forum. Let's welcome up next the author of the Open Mic Poems, musician, poet. He's performed numerous times. If I'm lucky, we're going to have some video footage of him from several years ago, reading and performing at Stone Soup. One of the events that's been that I have coverage of is the 40th anniversary celebration, which took place on May 1st, 2011, which was also the memorial service for the late Jack Powers. That's where the Peace Fire poem video I was able to record. That's where that is. That's where I was able to get that. And CC was also one of the people who performed. I believe used the piano at the church, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm hoping to get that as well. So let's unmute him now and let's bring up Mr. CC Arshaga.
Yeah, that's a throwback. Me and the piano. Yeah. Yeah. Well, hi and thank you. And Eric, I loved your piece the other night there. I watched the episode of the anniversary. I'm sorry I missed it. So I'm going to read a piece that I've been working on. I think it's still in development, but it's called Sides, C-I-D-E-S. And side is Latin for killing, homicide, suicide, genocide. And I'm big into the Hegelian dialectic that we're constantly being fed, divide and conquer. From Hegel, the philosopher that came up with problem, reaction, solution. So all the false flag stuff is in there. So sides is his thing, and this is a critical piece, so I'm just going to go with it. There is no CC Arshaga. I am no one to defeat. Forgive me. Forgive me, for winners alone will be the last ones. To be without me as the victor of all living wars. Should I go for the bongo? I am not a winner of life. I am not a loser of life. There are no chessboards in my benevolent fall of there is no CC Arshaga. Hello, frequency, vibrations, and dimensions. Goodbye, Lincoln, the Kennedys, and King. While we wait for Nikola Tesla to free energy, to free energy, to free energy at last. Space as time is a flat-out construct. And I am now here to stand alone clearly, to be seen through, to nothing left but love. No final square root of free thinking. No owned, walled, or bordered space on a living game board in the play of birth and dying. Where they're there now. Now there are only war games without end and all others games within it, all others games within it, all others games within it. Prisons of time-controlled knowledge to win the stay of our caged ignorance. Selling ad space around popular knife fights, gaming the sport of sharp words too. Between every game over, between two teams or two players playing, one will get it in the back, only to produce 99% losers, feeling like they are left to be the next winners of the game. Decide what side to play on. All right? There now. Don't dare now look behind war's curtain. There must be an enemy. Others. Endless opponents to play with. For who is I am an ego without endless enemies, endless others to win over and over and over and over and over? Why is there nothing? And the control of space here. On the game board still, then ever reset and always waiting, there are fear of death strategies to play. Pretending to be safe. They are wars never ending. To always the safety, the safety, to restart another war game. Denying that death is. The reality of denying a fear-based addiction. Where fear-based realities never stop. They never stop moving toward the rewards of profiting from death. Humans moving humans. To inhumanity is, to moving humans can no longer move there. Humans can no longer move there. The elimination of life and free choice, ever choosing, death is always. Death is always a losing ego, afraid of dying. Just as every slaver of wealth breeding poverty, living blind with eyes that see and deaf yet ears hear. An ego as ruler of a closed mindset winning, no matter if money rich or positioned poor, empowering ID chips. Both two sides endlessly facing off, being mirrors of each other. And in the same spend of time, not awake or aware of the reality slaves they are. Also, no matter what the other kind of pawn or playing piece behind their twin armies, two players believing a war can be won. All players eternally self-enslaved slavers themselves. Whether playing the safe slave role of science lying, or divide and conquer gender or race, or opposing religions or social systems or war games, whether slavers or rulers, kings or queens of feardom, or emperors of poverty, bred to preserve what wealth is, followed by homeless souls searching outside their bodies for the value of air, owning their next debt-free thought, birthed but with no home within them. They follow the slave leaders, where no one is free to question reality or the existence of living in a reality prison. Their own children, brothers and sisters, and everyone's offspring worthless unless they accept that they agree to live dying in the service of undying fear is. Their fearful safeties following, bowing to the mirrors of poetic abuse of I am and you are not. There is no CCR Chagra. Only fear is afraid of love, and love is not afraid. Or to be not waking the reality of one's fear-based obedience, their participation in fear's self-enslavement into a slave-slaver system of fears feeding fear, into a slave-slaver system of hatreds feeding hate. Mirrors must live. Fears feeding fears must be fed to create endless fear. The endless fear of death games played on and on, clueless, and within the never-ending understanding of money is only an idea. Money is only an idea, an invisible idea. You work and you labor to materialize what? Your free slavery? So you can afford to pay and buy your own chains? Freely shackle your own mind? And then be charged for the programmed upgrade. The program designed to make you obsolete by a one world digital currency, by a one world government enslavement system, a surveillance mandate, or die from a past due payment or ever mounting interest, penalties, taxes, but mostly for failing to obey your fears, endangering the reality of your like-minded fellow fear slaves who are trying to keep you safe, but you are failing to comply, and for breaking the laws that require you to enslave every other who refused to be a safe slave. Just like ignoring the system behind the slave-slaver systems. Understand your side and obey no critical poet. There are none. There is no CCR Chagra. That's the poem.
Oh,
Oh,
Got a O from James. Is that good?
easy. Easy. Whoa.
We have a couple more people on the on this first round of what's going to looks like it's going to be a round robin. Carol, you're going to be up. You're going to be up in a short while, but first we're going to bring up Mr. Eric Nelson.
All right. This one is called Wings. I was walking down the street past the college campus, and some of the buildings had naked statues of naked women with wings. I want a girlfriend with wings. I hope that college students are not the only people who get to have girlfriends with wings. I'd smooth down her feathers as we get into a cab together. We'd sit in the back row of the theater so she doesn't block the view of people behind her. In restaurants, it would take air traffic controllers to coordinate the waiters who serve from the left and clear from the right. She'd be the homecoming queen of the parade and fly above the floats instead of sitting on them. When she wants to get away from me for a while, she could perch in a secret nest or in a tree or rooftop, but I'd always leave the door open for her when it rains. I'd sleep with a wing wrapped around me. But then, I'm afraid if I asked her out, she'd say, I can fly. I can go anywhere. Where can you take me that I've never been? And she and her flock would fly away to places I would never know.
Oh.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Very good. Oh,
Thank you very much, Eric. I'm going to mute everyone again, and I'm about to unmute our special guest with us by phone only. She was the one who stole the show last week at the open mic on Friday. She is recovering from an injury. She's been going through a lot lately as far as health issues, but she is still there. She's probably forgotten more poems than I've remembered, and she's got some work for you tonight. So we're going to welcome Miss Carol Weston.
Wow. Okay, am I grateful? Let me start with Scarred Child. Scarred child, the tough blister of your skin keeps out all love and locks the being in. The second one is the door. Get away from me. Do not protect me from the dark half-opened door behind which lies my mystery, that land I walk to terrified and where I make my home. Let me see. Okay, this is Jack's favorite. Jack Power's favorite. The Dark Bowl. In the dark bowl of my soul danced a very slight light. When I blew off my lid, I blew out the light. When they came to my aid, they bent over the brim, extending their candles to light me again. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, I like that one.
mm,
That was
Lovely.
nice.
Thank you very
lovely.
much.
Good,
Thank
Carol.
Thank you guys very much, and thank you, Carol. I am going to, going to mute everyone here. And Carol, we're gonna probably have this like a round robin, like at Tom's poetry salon back in the old days. So we are you can probably have another turn if you have another poem you want to recite later, you can. But for the moment, I'm going to bring us over to. She was number 1, but she wanted to knock herself down to like number 17. But there's only like 7 or 8 people on the open mic, so she is next now. Let's welcome up. Actually, I just realized my serious grievance. I forgot to rename her spot. So let's welcome up next, Nava the Butterfly. Let me get you unmuted. There we go.
There we go. Hello, everyone. So, I've been working on the poem. I can't read it like I want to, so I have to like work from memory with it. So hopefully I can get most of it out. But the poem was inspired by fallen angels, and how fallen angels get such a bad rap, but we don't really know their story. And so the poem is performed by angels. All right, so I'm going to begin it. God's pronouns are him, her, she, he, they, and them. This is called writer's block, performed by fallen angels. If God is the book, then we must be the pages and lessons that fuel him. Each page takes 24 hours to read, and each day a new page is turning. Beings of words, I invite you to run with me to the weakest part of the earth, because after all, challenges are as hard as life. Let's teach our souls to run in packs of sonnets and free ideas, and watch our fisticuff words take on a life of their own. May God continue to hide while we seek him out, and never stop following his day-to-day shadow, because we believe he's too important for us to lose. Isn't that right, Lucifer? Yes. She is our glorious matriarch. We hear her voice in the calmness of the earth. It speaks as loud as our hearts can stand. It sounds a lot like the space between dandelion breath and the heaven long forgotten. If only I left my pride resting in peace, there would still be a halo reposed over my head instead of a dark cloud. Falling angels, our words are the only weapons formed against us if we're not careful. But with our words, we can escape this holographic room called Earth, because after all, because we believe God is too important for me. Okay, that's it. I lost it. So it's something I'm working on.
That was all memory?
That was great.
Yeah.
Well, that's very interesting.
Memory, wow.
Did you watch Lucifer on Netflix? Was that an inspiration?
No. No, but I should. I should watch it.
So why are you working strictly from memory? Did you have this in a notebook and you lost it, or?
Yeah, it's not in the notebook. It's on my phone somewhere.
Oh.
And I don't know how to get to it without leaving the Zoom. So
gotcha.
I tried to work from memory.
Wow.
But it's a fresh piece I'm working on.
Good memory, man.
Nice work.
Yeah, my memory can't do that at all.
You young kids, electronics and phones and everything. Back in my day, things were different.
Okay, I love the mute function. Anyway, we're going to bring us now to the person who usually closes us out for the night. He's going to close us out for this round of the round robin. I'm going to unmute him now. And for those of you who don't know, he's been the penultimate closer for Stone Soup for many a year now. He was responsible for Stone Soup having one of its homes back in the area where it was originally founded, thanks to his affiliation with the First Parish. And now he is a frequent writer and contributor to Oddball Magazine. As a matter of fact, his column "It's All One Thing" has appeared without fail for I think almost about 6 years now. Every week, every Thursday morning at 11 o'clock. Let's welcome up Mr. James Van Looy.
Thank you, Chad. So I have a poem here called Guerrilla Theater in Ye Olde Crypt Hall. It's about a real play that was done by the Man of Players, that was written by Richie Berman, who is the dedicated fundraiser for Best Buddies. So this is about Richie Berman's play in Old Crypt Hall. Guerrilla Theater in Ye Olde Crypt Hall. Rather than looking out over Crypt Hall, the altar, with its living ecology of 21st century symbols in toy form, now faces the back wall of basement storage room door open right there behind it, between wings of exits to back alley stage left, and then to the right, stairwell to long cathedral hall to the street. So we are facing away, already turned in from outsides, in this theater of contemporary time, superhero psychics, Jesus and Moses, reincarnated by the divine in alliance with psychic angel crime fighters, who together track down gangsta banksta and overturn their evil orb. Oh, like Agent Orangehead and the Saudis, this electromagnetic collusion cabal who steal from the good to finance their own self-serving global evil, all for the few, none for the broad view. Only a superhero can possibly save us, but even superheroes need coalitions. Jesus and Moses reincarnated too, and divine psychic super angels, the only ones to get special capes. Ah, yes, incipient rainbow coalition. Even Jesus is a she, yes, a woman. We can't, well, but laugh, but with glee, to see what desperately needs happen on the stage before us. Evil orb overturned, banksta gangsta theft returned to people. Oh, Jubilee, oh, forgive our debts, if only we forgive those debtors. Truth, justice, real American way. Yes, the way, the very way.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Wonderful to hear you.
Carol, do you think you can stay for the second round robin, Carol?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Excellent. We will.
I have a poem, yeah.
Excellent.
Poem.
We're going to start from the beginning again, which I think means that Nava has to go, since I technically had her as first originally. Oh, no, just kidding. Okay. We are going to go to, who was our first person from the last time? Oh, yes. Miss Patricia, are you ready? Great.
The Trapper and the Furrier. 2020, a strange, strange year. Like a time bomb waiting for breaking news to strike. Beasts in filthy cages, pellets and food, pets from puppy mills, children sleep in soiled cages, family separation, asylum still out of reach. Dystopian predictions, dystopian facts. Big business declares war on its workers. Unions, wages, healthcare live at triage. Newspeak from the White House twists failure into praise, fiction into history. Our self-proclaimed leader plays mobster roulette. The press, elections, and laws face execution. He gives carte blanche to an alien dressed as the flu, and the sick keep getting sicker with too many fevers, chills, coughs, and losses of smell and taste. Death toll rising, ghost towns replace cities, bodies overflow morgues, the homeless live underground, tents and cures not fast enough, business as usual for corporate generals. 2020, a strange, strange year. People shut indoors, waiting, not knowing what to believe. Their time bombs, not knowing when to explode. Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Yes.
We don't know what to do.
Thank you very much, Patricia. We're going to bring us now to number 2 on the list. Mr. Have you collected yourself, Bill, since that little episode in your back screen?
I mean, I don't know what happened. I mean, you know, it's not like it used to be. When I was your age, things were different. I mean, ahem. I must down to the seas again, to the lonely sea and sky, and all I ask of the tall ship and a star to sail her by. And the wheels kick and the wind's song and the white sails shaking and a gray mist on the sea's face and a gray dawn breaking. I must down to the seas again, to the call of the running tide. It's a wild call and a clear call that cannot be denied. And all I ask of the windy day with the white clouds flying and the flung spray and the blown splume and the seagulls flying. I must down to the seas again, to the vagrant gypsy life, to the gull's way, to the whale's way, where the wind's like a whetted knife. And all I ask of the merry yarn from a laughing fellow rover, and a quiet sleep and a sweet dream with long tricks over. John Masefield, 1787.
That's a
Yes, yes. Chat disabled.
Thank you, Bill. We're going to go down. And I'm glad you were able to compose yourself. We're now going to go to. Here we are. Here he is. Let me mute everyone again. And let's go to. Hi, Eric. I see you there. We'll definitely get you back. We'll definitely get you on the list. And right now, we're going to go to Mr. Gentleman Galt. Ed Galt, everyone.
Thank you. Tonight, this time I thought I would read a poem called Closing Time. My children came out and told me that you wouldn't take their money. You told them you were closing. I can appreciate that you want to get home. And we did come late. The streets were confusing and we got lost. The people that we asked for directions of said they didn't know. Also, they didn't seem to care. So here we are. We are leaving very early tomorrow morning, and it will be a long ride home. The children don't get to go to these vacations often. In fact, this is their first time out of the state. We waited until they were just the right age. We had to save a long time for this trip. So we just wanted them to see it. It wouldn't take very much time at all. And it would have meant so much for them to be able to say they had seen this. It's not like we can come back another day. When I was their age, my own father brought me here. Your rangers told the most wonderful stories. They made the history come alive in a way my own teachers never could. And my sister and I even got our picture taken in one of your colonial costumes. These memories are why we are bringing them now. So please, mister, won't you let them in just for a minute? They'll be right out, I promise. Just for a minute. Thank you.
Thank you. Very good.
Thank you so much, Ed. And now I'm going to bring us back to CC.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
So I don't know how this whole thing works, but if you want, I could do a thing from Funk Physics on YouTube. Will it go through, or I could read? Is that possible, just to test it out?
Whatever you like. How long is the punk? Are you talking about testing out the Funk Physics thing?
Yeah, it's a YouTube video. If I press play and went to full screen, would you be able to see it?
That I do not know. We can, if you want to take you would have to share it, I'd assume.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. That's the problem, is I'm not sure if we would get the volume, but we can give it a shot.
All right. This is just a test, and then I don't know how to undo it if it's thing. Hold on a second.
Sure.
So video, speaker view. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, here's screen share. Host disabled participant screen share. So not until you enable it.
Okay, so let's take care of that now.
This is just a test, guys. If you don't want to do this, that's fine. I'll read.
All right, who can start sharing with someone else share? Okay, looks like, I think you're all set to go now.
All right, here goes. I'm going to press.
It's experimental, so let's see what happens.
Yeah, this is a poet art band project that I did a few years back with these two young college guys, Derek Bossy and Matt Beliveau. And one's on piano, one's on guitar. They are making up the music live, and I am reading this, and the whole thing is composed live except the words itself, but the performance is a live composition. And the whole project, I have one with me, like a rock band version, but this is more like a open mic at an art gallery thing. So I'm gonna press play, and then I'm gonna press screen share, and I'm gonna go full screen and see what happens.
Okay.
It says disabled still.
Oh, here it is. But but the only problem is I don't hear anything.
So you got no audio?
Well, let me ask the group. Can anyone else hear the audio? No, it doesn't look like we can. So you might have to read something this time, CC.
Okay, not a problem. That was a good test.
Yeah, I've been having that problem myself. I was trying to incorporate music while people were waiting for Stone Soup to happen and stuff like that.
We could do this like after or before, maybe when everyone's off. Maybe we could troubleshoot it so you'll have that option in the future.
Yeah.
All right. So if everyone remembers this, the open mic poems from 20 years ago, this is book 3. I'm in a very good place. This book is going to be republished at 20-year anniversary. I got Ron Whitehead to write something for me. I don't know if you guys know Ron Whitehead, beat poet from, he knew Ferlinghetti and all those guys, and he's been supportive. The Boston Globe art critic has given me a quote for the back of the book. So it's going to be called the Open Microphone Poems. All 3 of the chapbooks are going to be in there. And 20-year anniversary, I was going to try and have it out in April, but the plague hit. So book 3 is different from 1 and 2. This is all character poems, which is where the title came from. And this is from 99. I read one from here last time, the one that was dedicated to Jack. I'm going to read they're not that long, so I'll read the first 2 that are in this book. The first one is probably the only one that's just a straight up kind of poem. It's called Mother Nothing. Just being newborn, God was playing with a stuffed puppet. Something rattled in the cage of universal silence. It broke sound into stardust, and galaxies and planets, solar systems came to entertain orbits. God threw a temper tantrum, and interpretations scattered. Here, Mother Nothing said, "It's bedtime for you, child." That's open mic number 28. Number 29 is Alone. So it has words like Alone, the poet, Heartlock, the poet, the Jack of Poets I read, Nobody, the poet, Play Lost, Pain Free, Fake Friend, She Savior, I Know Less, Controller, Ego, Vin, blah, 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 blah. So there's a bunch of them like that. So that's what I mean by character. Okay, so here's number 29, Alone. 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 Alone, the poet lives crowded on the world stage of everybody living some form of isolation. Here, alone delves into the safe of no safe feelings to stretch and feel the breathing of others. Alone now in thoughts and points of view free, inhales, then feels no rejection or acceptance. Here, flesh to sky, here, flesh to marrow. Here, by every end of the flowing world's way, still new ways are to be discovered. This membrane is, and it opens. That's Alone. You want one more? They're not long. Is that good? No, that's good.
We've got a couple more people who've joined us, so I do want to move over.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Possible. We're going to bring it, but we're going to go down the list, and we're going to go now to Mr. Oh, let me do the mute all. And
Thank you for the attempt to share that, by the way.
Not a problem.
Everyone.
And we're going to go now to Mr. Eric Nelson.
Okay. Hold on a second. Hold on a second while I find the darned thing. This one is called Things That Are Not Fish. Silverfish are not fish. Jellyfish are not fish. Cuttlefish are not fish. Starfish are not fish, and they're not stars either. A catfish is actually a fish, but it is not a cat. A seahorse is not a horse, it is a fish. The Portuguese man of war is not Portuguese, it is not a man, it is not at war. It is a jellyfish, which, as we've already seen, is not a fish. The Portuguese man of war jellyfish is named after a ship called the Portuguese man of war. The Portuguese man of war, the ship this time, was actually Portuguese and actually went to war. But it is not a man, it is a ship. Even though the Portuguese man of war is not a man, it might be manned by men. This has nothing to do with the fact that each separate part of a jellyfish is a separate organism that is called a person.
Oh, very good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And now we bring you to someone who's been waiting patiently. I'm muting everyone again. Thank you, Eric. And we're going to bring you now to one more poem from Carol Weston.
Oh, okay.
You're on.
Anyway, in August 166, I was, yikes. I did a dance with a broom, and then I lay down on the bed and with a notebook, and 36 pages came in 4 hours, and so I'll read just one line out of it. He comes to my caverns, his rock force of water is beating my sand in. His fountains are spouting inside my dry caverns. His waters of motion are stirring my stillness. I'm lying and waiting, his rocking of water, his waters so mighty, they break down my caverns.
Yeah. Ooh. Ooh.
So glad you could join us, Carol. So glad you could keep on reading. We're going to mute you now. And I'm going to bring you now to, wait 1 second. Let me just talk to Carol, everyone, for 1 sec. So Carol's staying on, and I can bring the next person up, but we have 2 new entries to Stone Soup and to this open mic, and one of them is Eric Tate, who came to us from back on, he's featured at Stone Soup before under my hosting tenure, and he's also hosted, so he's also featured several times before that, and he just came back to us via the power of Zoom this past Friday for the 49th anniversary, so it's great to have him again.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I've been, my mom's been on my mind a lot lately. She's with, she's in a nursing home now, and she's quarantined, but I've been writing a lot of poems about that lately. But this one's called Oedipal Complex. By elementary school, Dad thought I was too old to be climbing into bed with Mom, but I did it anyway, and Mom didn't stop me. In 1985, I was 13, and when I brought my face close to Mom's to give her a kiss, she pulled away from me. At 18, I was resentful and accused Mom of using me for a substitute husband, as Dad spent more and more time at church so he wouldn't have to come home. Later, I learned the reason she wouldn't be kissed was she didn't want me to contract her MS. She was young then, and there was much she hadn't known about her diagnosis and had been too afraid to ask. When Dad died, Mom allowed herself to be kissed. I took her in, consoled her, held her at night until she fell asleep. As I slept, I dreamed of Dad. I dreamed Dad had returned from a long trip to find Mom and I doing just fine without him. Thank you.
My mom recently was in a nursing home. She just passed away last week. So if anybody wants to know about losing somebody with COVID-19, let me know. It's quite an experience.
Sorry for your loss, Cece.
No, yeah, no. I just want to say that there's a lot to learn about funerals and burials during this time. So I'll share that with you if you're interested. If that, Anyway, I'm here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Our next person coming up, our new joiner. She has been in multiple feature now at this point at Stone Soup, either feature or co-feature. She is published with Oddball and numerous other journals besides that. I can't name them off the top of my head right now, but she is 2 collections out over the last year or two, and it's great to have her to read and to come back and read with us after so long. Let's welcome Lee Varon.
Oh, Chad, I just came to listen. Sorry.
You got 2 books and you don't want to read anything?
I wasn't even, I didn't even get something ready. I just thought I would come, and I'm glad I did. It's beautiful work. I'm really happy to be
You don't want to read one poem for the third round
I
robin?
don't have anything in front of me, no, but thank you. I'll come again, and I'll have something ready.
That's
I
a
promise.
promise. Come on.
Thank
I'm going
you.
to do the 3D thing. That's a promise. You'd better.
Yes, I will. I will.
Let me get this. Let me get
After
the
that
speaker.
introduction, yes, I will definitely come again.
Let me get the speaker. Let me speaker on, and let me do the all speaker mode so I can do the 3D. Okay, there we go. You'd best. Okay, anyway, we're going to go now to, looks like Nava the Butterfly is up again if she so chooses to perform. Do you? Oh, let me unmute you.
Yes.
And that would be a plus. And looks like you're all set to go.
Okay, so I'm gonna start back with that poem where I remembered where I left off at. I do remember one of the lines, so I'm gonna try it again. I'm trying to finish it out. Okay, here goes. The name of that poem is Writer's Block, performed by Fallen Angels. Without God, we are as lost as torn pages from a memory. Without God, we're as lost as torn pages from a memory. Fallen angels, remember, it took lightning and thunder to make us. Oh, here we go. I'm sorry. Let me start back over. Without God, we are as lost as torn pages from a memory. Jesus, I've got a life with no religion, and still I manage to turn doubt into rhinestones, right along with the pages of myself. I will turn page after page as if I was Jesus, turning the other cheek. And like Jesus, I will take this cross I bear and turn it into a warm, welcoming sunset. Remember, fallen angels, it took lightning and thunder to make us. And I have seen the word of God. I have seen that I am half human, half star, and my DNA is all angelic, and that God wrote his first poem in blood right here on earth, and he called it Adam. And I, Lucifer, am not his adversary. God created the heavens and the earth, and it is man who creates his own hell.
Thank you, Nava.
Very nice.
Very good.
And now we're going to bring us, we'll have a second round. Well, finishing the second round is Mr. James Van Looy. Are you ready, sir?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm ready here. And actually,
Whoops, sorry, didn't mean to unmute you. My bad.
it's okay. So I wanted to say to Nava, I've just been reading a book called Omens of the Millennium, The Gnosis of Angels, Dreams, and Resurrection. So that's kind of like, I guess our minds are working in similar patterns here. So anyway, I have a poem here called Open Your Heart Labyrinth. And it goes like this. I have been drawing rainbow labyrinths for years now and switch my colors, all 15 shades, primary and secondary, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple to purple, blue, green, yellow, orange, red, outer rim to much smaller center. But sometimes I still come up extra in certain chalk sticks. and have to invent new color schemes to use them up. So still working out heart labyrinths over a week after Valentine's Day. I color my V for fingers figure labyrinth, first pink and red, then turquoise and navy blue, at which point, as I stand thinking about which colors to use next time, suddenly this aggrieved voice assails my epiphany of yellow and orange, saying, I've been watching you and I hate your use of color all the same. And realize she must have only seen my red and blue recent creations when I was lost in rainbows, actually to honor Fred Hampton, original Rainbow Coalition, author of Counterculture Coalition, Politicians of Inclusion and Unity, who was assassinated by Nixon's COINTELPRO. Of course, I never got to tell her that, even though if asked, I always say it, but she kept going off on me, yelling about how my privilege kept me from seeing real color, when in fact, I realized my privilege is what keeps everyone from seeing what a shy outsider in extrovert land of narcissism exposed as individualism I've lived my whole life, working away, surviving competition, the fastest swimmer who rarely won, the flip turn running into wall or missing it, the secret student rambling rat seeing it all on scene, but only later, after her dis-ease bristles off up the common, finally I know my labyrinth name, and I'm chanting it, slowly, learning. Open my heart, open my heart, open my heart. And I hear, open your heart over it all. So I go out the very next day and I color in all my range of color, another rainbow labyrinth.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bravo.
Thank you, James. We've had a couple people. We've had one or two people join us late. It is a shorter open mic than others. So I'll take the poll for everybody. How do you feel about doing one last round robin, a third? Does everyone have at least one poem in them to do that?
I'm going to have to go off here, Chad. I'm going to have to go off here, Chad, because my battery is dying.
Well, if you charge it and you want to come back, we can be here for a while. We'll see.
All right, I'll see what happens.
All right, sounds good.
I got to go charge it. So thanks to everybody. It's
Thanks,
really good
Chad.
hearing everyone tonight.
Always
Thank
good to
you
see you,
so
Jay.
much.
Take care.
Good to see you, CC.
So I got a thumbs up from Cece, but I don't know how everyone else feels. You all call it a night?
Probably.
Probably, you said?
I'm a little tired, but I'm glad I came. Definitely.
Okay, so 2 round robins is enough, but
Yes, it's too much.
okay, I wanted to just test out that theory. So we
I
will.
never got my Amazon package. Just went downstairs with the computer.
God. All right, I'll put the hashtag fuck Amazon for the YouTube video when we do this. And you can see the last performance, the last open mic we had on Zoom. There are links probably everywhere, but most notably on the Stone Soup Facebook page and my own personal page. For those who are interested in sending some more work out, we are doing COVID-19 pandemic themed work at Oddball. We're publishing every 2 weeks, a stretch of COVID-19 themed work. And we're also lucky enough to do art and photography with that as well. We're doing a lot of exciting things at Oddball, so I hope you do submit to that. And I'm going to try and include other opportunities. There's actually I think it's called Everyone Has a Voice, and it is a Brockton-based group. Actually, Everyone Has a Voice was the name of the Brockton venue for a long time, and I'm just bringing up my own my own website just to make sure, because I just posted this a couple of days ago. They're in lieu of actually having a live event where everyone can get together, they're inviting people to submit their own videos. I don't think there's any restrictions, except maybe, I don't even think they mentioned language restrictions, though I would just say, you know, there before for the grace of God go you if you're going to try and do all 7 of George Carlin's forbidden words. But if you can record a video and send it to them, then I think they're going to incorporate it and use it as part of a bigger show. I think the last video that they did was, I think, an hour, almost 2 hours long. And so and the person who's doing this is Phil Hasaris, who's long been affiliated with the Brockton Arts community. And he does a good job. He also did an award-winning Places series of poets reading from their favorite spots or where they get their inspiration. So Phil is a good person to hook up with this, and I'm going to try and send a video before my hair becomes completely irredeemable. The rest of you, or either that, I'm going to use a lot of stock photos. But if you're interested in that, the information should be linked in Stone Soup's page as well. And there's a lot of other stuff that's going to be going on. I'll probably be posting a submittable link that shows a lot of people that are taking work that's being based on right now. So a lot of the stuff that was heard tonight would be great for any number of these journals. And anytime I publish something that I was part of, you know, I try and do that as an advertisement for the publication as well. For instance, I've been published a lot in What Rough Beast, which is a New York-based outfit. They're part of Indolent Books, and they have been publishing 1 poem a day for the entirety of the Trump administration. And they're always accepting work. They've switched over to doing pandemic work and also political work. They do both kinds now. They're publishing sometimes 2 or 3 poets a day, and they're always looking for work. And last I talked to him a week ago, he had 300 submissions. So he is filled with work, but I think he would find a place for you. And also, I was published in Headline Poetry and Headline Poetry and Press. Oh God, I'm embarrassed. I can't remember the name. I was just published by them about less than 24 hours ago. Yes, Headline Poetry and Press, which takes a lot of erasure poems, found poems, and also does pandemic poetry. And the editor, Hocus, is an excellent editor. She's helped me do some really good stuff. And if you're interested, the link to my publication will also show the entire library of stuff that she's been putting out just in this year alone. So with that, I'll probably create an invite tonight just so we can get spread word around better for next week's reading, because I really want to get as many people as possible. And if you guys can spread and share the invites, that would be great. The only reason I'm not doing a Facebook invite is because if I don't do it public, then no one sees it. But if I do it public, it increases the chances of a troll to get on and to harass people. So that's why I haven't been posting on meetups. I haven't been posting on Twitter or anything like that. So I want to keep it a good group. But if you guys can help spread these out, that would be excellent. And also, finally, I'm thinking of perhaps doing a workshop, which means that it wouldn't be an open mic. If you have a poem that you would like to actually workshop and work through, you can send me the poems, and I'll figure out a time to do it. It'll either be a Friday night or maybe even a Monday, but we can discuss that later when I have work. Sometimes workshops don't do great, don't get a great response. A lot of people don't like them, but if you're interested in getting feedback for your work, just email me your stuff and we'll figure out a time. And with that, I will let you all go. I think I rambled on enough.
Thank you, Chad.
Thank you.
Have yourselves a great night.
See everybody.
Bye, Chad.
Do you want to try that video to test it?
We'll try it. Wait, what video is this?
Do you want to hang on for a second and just test that whether or not you could do it?
Yeah, I'm going to stay. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to have to go, so
All
I'll see
right.
you next week.
See you later. Well, so you hook up what you need to hook up, Cece.
I'm just saying, do you want to, before you go off, do you want to troubleshoot whether you could do this other thing or not? I could even do one of Jack's.
How about I figure it out? I'll get back to you on that, because a lot of people want to go home, and I need to actually practice this as well. And luckily, I know a few friends on Zoom who've been asking the same question. So hopefully next week we'll have an answer.
Not a problem.
All right, I'll talk to you guys later.
Love you all. Thank you. Bye.